Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is fine. My name is Yizchok Eisenman, and I'm the rabbi of Congregation Ahavas Israel in Passaic, New Jersey. This week we have discussed the privilege of learning two parshas, Acharei and Kedoshim. Kedoshim is one of the richest parshas we have as far as mitzvahs. I think there are over 50 mitzvahs there. One pasuk which I'd want to discuss is the pasuk which says Lo selech rachil b'amecha and Lo samod al dam reyecha ani Hashem. So, although the Mefarshim grapple a little what the word rachil means, what's the shoresh? Rashi seems to say it's like rogal, like a spy. Others, whatever, debate the point. But certainly, there's basically a consensus among the Mefarshim that lo selech rachil b'amecha is don't be a talebearer, don't be a rochel, a rachilist person, a gossiper. Don't be a gossiper, which we certainly can understand the importance, and we realize how gossip, especially for a rabbi, we all understand very well how gossip can impact, especially on the life of a rabbi. And the second part of the pasuk is also beautiful and quite understandable. Lo samod al dam reyecha. Don't stand by on your brothers, on your friends' blood. Stand up for your friend. Don't allow his blood to be spilled and you just stand there. But the question is what is the connection between the first and the second part of the pasuk? How are they connected? They seem to be two totally different categories. The first one speaks about your personal conduct, interpersonal conduct between you and just the general public. Don't be a gossiper. Well, the second one, Lo samod al dam reyecha, seems to be a totally different thing. We're all of a sudden involved seemingly in some sort of terrible, violent situation where you have to do something. So there are two approaches. There are more than two approaches, but there are two approaches I'd like to mention. The first already is the Ibn Ezra points out, Lo samod al dam reyecha, and others say it's too, or others, that it means this is what will be the result. Meaning, if you don't be a talebearer, if you don't be a rochel, if you don't be a gossiper, you'll never have to lo samod al dam reyecha. The result will be you'll never have to stand by and watch your friend's blood being spilled. And they talk about Doeg in the Navi, how because he was gossiped about David, that caused unfortunately, no Vera Kohanim, a lot of bloodshed to be caused by his gossip. So, lo selech rachil b'amecha, don't be a gossiper. You think that's something easy or think it's something which has minimal result? No. If you observe not to be a rochel, not to be a gossiper, then lo samod al dam reyecha. You'll never come to a situation where you're the cause. You're standing over someone's blood that you spilled. However, another approach is very different, and I think for us as Rabbanim, very, very applicable and actually very also compelling. Lo selech rachil b'amecha. We're so careful to teach our congregants not to speak lashon hara, not to gossip. We try to be careful. However, lo samod al dam reyecha is nevertheless, meaning don't be a gossiper amongst your people, but nevertheless, don't forget that don't stand by when your brother's blood is being spilled. Namely, a shidduch. People call about a shidduch all the time, us Rabbanim. Oh, wonderful boy, wonderful family. Are we telling the truth? Are we are we causing someone's blood to be spilled? Are we allowing some sort of dysfunctionality, which we know very well exists in the potential shidduch, to be now transferred to this shidduch, which will build another dysfunctional family? As the Chofetz Chaim writes so clearly, for toeles, for purposes, positive purposes, purposes which are needed, one is permitted to speak Lashon Hara. In fact, one is obligated to speak Lashon Hara. But we're so quick, we hear so much about the Shidduch crisis, that so many women, especially so many women, have come crying to me after their divorce. And they say, I asked the rabbi. He said everything was fine. I asked the rabbi. Nothing, everything is good. Turned out he was a wife beater already in the first wife when he got divorced. Turned out he had addictions already from the first marriage. Unfortunately, the rabbi, as many of us do in our enthusiasm to make a shidduch, to bring people together, we only remember the first part of the pasuk. Lo selech rachil b'amecha. Rabbi say, let us not forget the second part of the pasuk. Of course, we should never be gossipers. Of course, we should never be gossipers. But we also should never do anything which will cause us to stand by and watch our brother's blood be spilled, if not actually, if not literally, but certainly emotionally, by allowing people who we know are honestly have a lot of struggles, which could obviously prevent them from having a happy marriage. And we could be leading a couple into a lot of emotional blood being spilled. Lo selech rachil b'amecha, of course, but never forget lo samor al dam re'echa. This is Rabbi Yizchok Eisenman from Congregation of Havas Israel, New Jersey, wishing you a wonderful Shabbos. Thank you for listening.